Hi guys, it's Brookelynne and welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be another parenting video. So I'm kind of getting into doing these and I am and I am pre-filming these videos for when my baby's due. So at this current moment as I film it, it's like late January. I think it's like, what day is it? Alexa, what date's today? And
Today is Sunday, January 21st.
Oh, 21st January. So I'm 7.5 months pregnant with my first child. I do have two wee Frenchies, but you know what I mean, my first human child. So today's video is going to be why I plan to combo feed my son. It's a boy. So there's a lot of reasons why I've came to this decision to combo feed my baby. So number one is that I can get migraines with the visual disturbances, and they get worse with lack of sleep. And you know, with a baby, lack of sleep is pretty much with the newborns. It's one of them things that happens. And if I was to fully breastfeed, it'd be me who's solely responsible for being able to feed that child, and I can't split the night shifts up with my husband that way, and that would cause me to have more migraines than if I done the combo feeding, which I'm doing, or the combo feeding. So it means that half of his feeds I'll be getting will be formula, and then half will be breast milk. Bit more breast milk, just depends. Like, say for instance, he gets fed every 3 hours, but when he's formula fed, like his bottles, they can tend to keep him fuller for longer. Then say for instance he's got a breastfeed, like a baby feed, and he's hungry before 3 hours, just give him a wee top up with the baby feed. And I suppose when he's just born, it'll be getting more baby feeds, but he'll be having 4 bottles of formula, because I've worked it out. So if every 3 hours, like one feed breastfeed, one feed formula, then alternate it. But during the very early stages, I can see him doing like 2 breastfeeds to 1 formula feed. So that's probably the way it'll work out, hopefully. And it means doing that, and I can pump as well. I'm going to get one of them hands-free pumps, like put it on baby shower register. And it means when I'm taking my sleep shift, because me and my husband are breaking up the night shift, like having half and half. So the first 6 hours of the night, he looks after our son while I get sleep, but then he can also sleep that part of the night when he sleeps, and then we set an alarm, both of us. So, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, switch over. So I start to 10 this whole night shift pattern. I've worked it all out, and I pray it does work, because we need it. So 4 a.m. we switch over. I go down to look after baby, and then Connor, my husband, just comes up here to sleep. And then obviously when baby sleeps, I sleep that extra bit, if he allows me. So it means, say for instance, he's due a breastfeed, but my husband's, it's his turn for the shift, like his part of the shift. I've pumped just before I went up to bed, so it means when he's due that feed, it's in a bottle waiting for him in the fridge. So it allows me not to have, hopefully, touch wood, as many migraines as what I would get if I just exclusively breastfed. And it gives me the freedom. So say for instance I want to meet a friend for coffee, and I may not feel as comfortable or as confident, as like comfortable and confident at the same time, do you know what I mean? As comfortable as would it need to be just to feed the child in public. Say for instance we're in a coffee shop and I've never been to that one before, I don't know how comfortable I'd feel about basically getting my tit out to feed my child. I know it sounds crude, but it pretty much is. So doing the combo feeding means that I can either give him that bit of formula or pump, or if I want to have like a child-free hour out with my friend, my husband couldn't take like the formula milk or the pump milk, whatever. Just depends on what feed's due. That he could take that in the bottle and feed it to our son. Also, if I plan a night out, then someone else can look after my son, say for instance my husband, or if one a date night, a family member or a friend or a babysitter, childminder can look after the baby while we go out, and I don't really have to worry, oh crap, it's been like 2 hours, we really just barely got sitting down to finish our dessert. I have to go back and feed my baby, because either I'll have formula and pump milk, probably both. So it's just the best of both worlds. And doing it from birth, which I plan to combo feed my son from birth, it means he gets used to taking both the boob and the bottle from birth, and he doesn't have the time or the knowledge to refuse. And I hope that does work out, that he takes both, because he'll be taking both from birth. He'll be getting used to both the boob and the bottle from birth. So it's all he's gonna really know from being out in this world. Day one, he'll be taking both, so it means like I'll not have to worry about, oh, if I was exclusively breastfeeding for 6 months, oh crap, I have to transition him on the bottle. So trying to get him used to a bottle and having to get all these different bottles, and trying to get that child who's only used to the boob onto the bottle from that age. Whereas combo feeding from birth, he's used to both, and I never have to really worry about that. So, and also, it's also me. I get used to me and my husband get used to like making up the bottles. We've got one of them perfect prep machines we got from my in-laws, so thank you mother and father-in-law for that. So we'll have that, and we'll know also if we're, say, at the caravan or whatever, or on a wee staycation with our son, we know how to make up a bottle too, and to make it up properly. I know how to do it because I have a younger brother, and I used to make up his bottles when he was 6 months old upwards, sometimes to give my parents a break. And I know like how to make up, you do like so many scoops per ounce, 1 scoop per ounce. So say for instance, oh, he takes 4 ounce now, put 4 level scoops, put like the slightly cooled down half an hour boiled water into the bottle, shake it up, put it in a wee bowl or a cup of like cold water for 10 minutes to curl it even down, test it on the back of your wrist or whatever, hand, if it's like comfortable, it's for the baby, it's fine. So we'll just know that, and we'll know that from the day Nars is born pretty much, compared to, oh, if I was exclusively breastfeeding, then it's a learning curve, another learning curve that me and my husband will have to learn to make up bottles at a later date, and also trying to get him to take one too. So kind of, it gets us, even though it's more work at the start to get both systems going, it means he just knows both. So it just works out a lot better. So when he does hit them milestones, there's no like need to be like, oh crap, I have to do this. And obviously the thing I'll be doing when he is 6 months, it'd be like planning to completely stop the breastfeeding by that point. Depends on how it goes, because I'm not putting pressure on myself to be able to completely do the breastfeeding side of it. But if I can, great. If I can't, then that's okay too. Fed is best. As long as the child's happy and fed, as long as the parents are happy and healthy and because happy parents, happy child, happy mum, happy child. So yeah, and also having both the boobin formula milk is going to help my son to be able to kind of get used to different like foods like from birth. So formula, yeah, it's made to be as close to breast milk as possible. It can never be completely like it because obviously it's impossible to replicate breast milk, but he's getting to kind of learn to digest and get used to two different types of food, like food, milk. It will be better for him and his digestive system to tolerate, and he'll be able to kind of get used to that from the day Nars born. It'll be easier for him than transitioning at a later date. So another reason is that from him having half the formula, the half his feeds are formula, it'll help him sleep longer stretches. Now I've heard like conflicting things about this. I've heard that no, breast milk makes him sleep as much as formula, but the more things I've heard is that formula makes him sleep longer. But then I've heard like I've heard of the last feed is a breastfeed. It helps him like go into deeper sleep. I've heard all these sorts of things, but with formula, because it's harder to digest, makes them fuller for longer, so they're able to sleep for longer. That's what the benefits are too of that. So say for instance he does get a formula feed and he sleeps for like, let's say 3 or 4 hour stretch, and then he could have a breastfeed and sleep for like 2 hours, you never know. But because the formula we plan to put him on, it's Candamil, so that's made from whole fat cow's milk, but it's obviously made like a baby formula. It's like not like anything it's going to be dangerous for him. Candamil's a really trusted brand, and it's one of the best brands out there, and I plan to put him on it from day dot. That and SMA, but Candamil I'm going to try to transition him completely onto that for all his formula feeds. But because that has whole fat milk, it's made of whole fats, it's going to keep him fuller for longer. I'm putting him on just the regular Candamil because that has the whole fat, so it's going to help. It's going to kind of help him not have so much reflux. So it's a thicker formula too. It's going to keep him fuller for longer, ward off any reflux, and hopefully ward off any colic, and he'll get a good night's sleep. And so will we when he does eventually transition to sleeping longer stretches, and when we can just sleep train him when he's a few months old and we get into like more of a routine with him. And yeah, pretty much. So also what I plan to do is get him a couple different bottles. I'm going to put these on my baby shower list too. I know I'm like going madam here. Baby shower list, I'm going to get this and I want that and I want that. But there's 2 different types of bottles I'm planning to use for my son. And one of them is the Tommy Tippy Closer to Nature Early Anti-Colic bottles. They're basically Tommy Tippy, if you haven't seen them, if you have, because they're quite a really well-known make, because Tommy Tippy makes a perfect prep machine, and the bottles are like wide necked, and obviously I'll be putting them on the number 1 newborn teats, that helps prevent colic and stops him from just completely preferring the bottle. And that bottle, because it's a wide neck bottle, it feels more like the breast compared to a narrower one. And because Tommy Tippy does have like an anti-colic system where it's a wee stick with a wee vent and all on it, that'll kind of stop any wind they'll get, because you can get colic, maybe you can get colic while it's breastfed or formula fed. People say, oh, leave you giving bottles. No. but I'm going to try my best to kind of prevent them from getting colic if I can. But having bottles like that will really help, and the slow flow tape will really help. Just you'll be able to work as hard as he would at the breast, so it'll stop him from being like getting lazy and I don't want to have that. I have the bottle, it's easy for me. Just be ways to work around. And also the other one that I'm planning to use as well, that is self-sterilizing, is the man bottles. Just like they're also wide neck too, and I'll just get the newborn teats of them too, and they're also anti-colic. They just have a different system. Like the system in the man bottle stops the air from getting into the milk, it takes the air away, so it stops your stomach from getting gassy. And obviously you'll be burping the child after or in between this bottle, like halfway through his bottle and stuff, and halfway through his feeds, to stop him from getting like a build up of wind, because that's what really complicates. It's like wind, and it hurts your stomach because they don't have they can't really burp themselves yet, so it's all that trapped wind and gas, and it's so sore for them. So yeah. And also both Mam and Tommy Tippy have lovely blue coloured bottles, which I'm getting, and I can't wait. So another reason why I'm combi feeding as well is because I'm not putting pressure to exclusively breastfeed, because I know I may not be able to do it. I may be able to do it. If I can do it, great. If I can't, then that's okay. And say, for instance, it comes to the time where I've tried and I can't, say, for instance, of low milk supply, or my boobs are so sore and sensitive, no matter what nipple cream I use, no matter what like techniques I use to kind of stop like the cooling pads, to stop any irritation, it still happens and it gets worse, and I'm just like, you know what, it's not worth it, it's so painful. Then my child, he's used to the bottle, so he'll still have got the colostrum because I'll still be trying, and also I'm doing the colostrum harvesting, so it'll like kind of, I'll be able to get that harvested, I could speak. So if it's a case of when, if and when I can't breastfeed and I've tried it and it doesn't work, sometimes, like say once a day or once every other day, I can use the colostrum I've stored up. I'm going to try to do as much as I can before baby arrives. Put it into the bottle, like obviously defrost it from the wee tube, put it into like a thing of warm water in the tube, the wee syringe, defrost it, and then when the bottle's ready, put the wee colostrum in the bottle, mix it in, and he's getting that continuous immunity, all the benefits of the breast milk too, but without me having to fight on and push on. I just feel like I'm at ease with my decision. Like, I just feel like the best of both worlds too. It's like my child's gonna get the best of the formula and the best of the breast milk. He's getting all the antibodies, the immunity, the protection against loads of illnesses through the breast milk. And also he's getting the feeling fuller for longer, just feeling like comforted as well, and also having the knowledge and feeling comfortable with taking the bottle from day dot with the formula, and getting used to just digesting his body, digesting both milks. And it's really good for him, and it'll be really good for me and my husband, because we'll have a little bit more freedom, especially me, instead of exclusively breastfeeding, where I don't think I have much of a life outside of my son with that. So it kind of keeps me sane, and it helps me sleep as well and get a good sleep to look after my son. And also another reason I forgot to mention, when I did mention like the lack of sleep can bring on migraines, and because I do have an eyesight condition, I'm severely visually impaired, and because I have nystagmus, that's what I have. When I don't sleep that well, my eyesight is blurrier. I just noticed it, like, and I get dizzier, and that's dangerous with a baby. I don't want to fall. Like, say for instance, he's a really bad sleeper. He's one of them fussy babies where he constantly has to be on the boob, and it's only me who can feed him, and then I'm up all hours of the night and not getting barely any sleep. Like, and then say for instance, my migraines are severe, they're bad, and then my eyesight's just blurry, I feel dizzy, and then I fall down the stairs with my baby. No. Like, you're probably thinking, whoa, love, calm down. But I do. I'm like one of these sticklers for health and safety. I'm a stickler for having just everything as safe as possible. And I want my son to thrive, and I also want me to thrive as a mum and my husband to thrive as a dad. And also, I have other dependents to think about. I've got my 2 Frenchies. They're just as important too, and I want to still have a good amount of time to spend with them because I don't want them being left out. They are like the older kids, even though they're not human kids, you know what I mean? But Horton and Nova have been the baby up until this point, and I want to still be able to spend time with them so they don't feel left out and they don't feel that they've lost the life that me and my husband have been able to give them from they were no age. And it just allows me to have headspace to do all that, and it helps my son too because it'll help my wee son not be as fussy because he'll be able to get to be comfortable with other people feeding him too. Like, it means giving him the bottle as well. It means his dad can feed him, his grandparents can feed him, his aunties and uncles and all can feed him, family friends can feed him, do you know what I mean? And childminders too. They can all, everyone can just chip in and give him a wee feed, and also it's bonding for the whole family too. So yes, that's the end of the video. Have any of you actually combo fed your baby from birth? Can you give me any more tips that I may need to know? Anything that's useful, say for instance for the breastfeeding side, the bottle feeding side. What did you do? Did you split them up equally, or did you do more breasts? Did you do more formula? Let me know how that went. Did you find you got on well with the breastfeeding, the formula feeding? Did you end up like combo feeding right until 6 months? My goal is to get 6 months. Obviously, I'll be weaning my son off by, I will start to wean him around the 4 or 5 month mark to break down, gradually dwindle down the breastfeeds and up the formula more, and obviously some more solid. But did you find that you were able to do both consistently for 6 months or however long you wanted to? Was it difficult for you? Did your son or daughter take the bottle too? Let me know. Also, I forgot to mention, this video's all over the place. I'm sorry, I ramble. ADHD on the brain here, but I ramble so much. But when I'm in the hospital with my son, the first feed I'll get is a breastfeed from me, and then another breastfeed, and then a bottle, and then alternate it. But that's the way I'm just gonna work it from day dot. But let me know if you've done this before, you're a fellow mum. How did it go? Just let me know because I want all the tips and I want all the experiences too. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again for the next one. Stay gorgeous. God bless. Bye.